Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Zero's Opinion on Video Game News, the show where I take a few moments to talk about news items that catch my eye, and then give my opinion on where it lies on the good versus evil grayscaleometer, and what it may mean for the video game community as a whole in the future. Since a lot of today's topic has to deal with music, I've got some Metal Gear Rising playing in the background, since this game has probably one of the best soundtracks I've heard for a while. Today we are going to be chatting about the recent announcement by Twitch that they will be running a Content ID system on video-on-demand videos, otherwise known as VODs, hosted on their service. After partnering with Audible Magic, a company whose primary focus is on Content ID systems for the recorded music industry, Twitch's new content matching system will scan all past and future VODs for copyright infringing material. When audio in a VOD is matched to something in their library, the audio of the VOD will be muted from the beginning of the detected content for a period of 30 minutes. If the content creator is flagged and believes the flagging to be an error, then they must send Twitch a Digital Millennium copyright complaint counter notification if they wish to get their VOD's audio unmuted.
Opinion alert! Opinion alert!
Now, obviously, this has a lot of Twitch content creators rather upset, and in some cases rightfully so. Automated systems like this will have false positives, and given the nature of the way these systems have to work, there's only so much that can be done beforehand to ensure that they are kept to a minimum. What needs to follow is a quick and relatively painless way for people who have been falsely flagged by such a system to recover lost content and revenue, and it's on this point both the YouTube Content ID system and now the Twitch Content ID system fail. In the case of YouTube, any revenue that is lost during the time of an ID conflict is not rewarded to the content creator, even if the claims against the video is proven to be false. Now Twitch is failing on the other end of that quick and easy spectrum. While there is no revenue being lost on flagged VODs, the fact that the content creator must submit a DMCA counter notification to recover their content when a proper takedown notification was never filed in the first place is a little much, and I will touch on this again shortly. But let me play devil's advocate here for a moment, because I honestly believe that Twitch is doing what it needs to protect itself, while at the same time trying to inflict the minimum amount of damage to its content creators. So first off, the main thing to note is that we are seeing a rise in 21st century companies like Twitch and Google via the way of YouTube, who have adopted better adapted business models for the always connected and medium-rich environment we live in today. These businesses get their revenue through ways that are non-offensive to the majority of users who use them, without having to resort to the tired practices of the previous century of entertainment, where the ability to access content could be more heavily gated. However, these companies still need to exist in a world where 20th century companies not only exist, but have enough money to do serious damage to them. Going straight by the numbers, it's easy to see why Twitch would prefer an over-aggressive system to an under-aggressive one. If the system was under-aggressive, then it opens the doors for the aforementioned 20th century companies to sue Twitch much the same way Viacom sued Google in 2010. With an overly aggressive system, they risk upsetting their content creators, which is also bad for them. But the worst content creators can do is up and leave for another platform, and let's face it, Twitch is the place to be for live streaming at the moment. So if a content creator were to leave, then there are thousands more ready to rush into the void and snap up whatever audience the departed creator left behind. And by only targeting VODs, at least for the time being, they are limiting even that level of fallout as, again, let's face it, very few people go to Twitch for anything other than live streaming. And speaking from a psychology perspective, it's easier to start heavy-handed as well. The public with its limited memory are more likely to thank Twitch for dialing back its control in the future, whereas increasing the control would only cause more outrage. Now to be fair, this kind of thing was inevitable. Twitch was getting too large to be ignored with the exception of the occasional DCMA claim like it has been up until this point. This is evidenced by the fact that even console manufacturers have taken note of it and built their next-gen consoles with live streaming in mind. And I would much rather see Twitch be proactive about something like this than be forced to react after being taken to court. Fighting a legal battle like this is expensive, and I would much rather see that money invested into perfecting this system rather than fighting a hopeless battle to stave it off for a few more months. Now of course, this system is far, far from perfect. And the first day there have already been numerous false flags and content claims that should never have been in the content matching database to begin with. Hell, even one of Twitch's own broadcasts was hit with a flag from this system. Now the fact that Twitch itself got hit proves one good thing in my mind. This system, at least for the nonce, is an impartial one. It doesn't matter if you're a Twitch god or a tiny show just getting started. You are subject to the same rules as everyone else. There's no buying your way around the system or preferential treatment. But that's where the good thoughts on this one end. See, this system works on a guilty until proven innocent system, which is a truly backward way of thinking. If a company has their music or voice acting in the system to prevent misuse, and then turns around and does a promotional video, they will get nailed for posting their content that belongs to themselves and must then defend the right to post their own content. And already we have reports of content being matched even though the party that owns it has never submitted it to the Audible Magic library. Unfortunately, in the world of business, it's much easier and safer to side on the side with the largest bank account, which in this case is not the content creators. Now currently this system is only affecting VODs, and has no bearing on live broadcasts, which is where the content creators on Twitch really and truly make their money. So its impact on streamers and content consumers alike is fairly limited, which is more than can be said for the fiasco surrounding YouTube's Content ID changes earlier this year. And while I believe that Twitch is trying to keep the damage done to a minimum, for their own purposes of course, do not believe for a second that any business loves its customers past the minimum required to make a profit off of them. This also feels very much like a test to me. Twitch is rolling this out now so that they can fine-tune it using the content on their service least likely to upset anyone if it is messed with. After they get it to a point that they are happy with, they will start to roll this out on live broadcasts as well. Now this will require a bit more time and infrastructure than the current setup. After all, it's much harder to monitor something on the fly than it is to throw it in a queue and let the system deal with it as soon as it gets around to it. When this is finally rolled out to live streams, I believe playing unlicensed music will be analogous to parking in a parking lot without paying. Chances are, if you're playing music you don't have license to, or more likely that it is in their system and it won't matter if you have a license or not, you will get away with it. But every so often, the Twitch bylaw officer is going to stroll by and catch you. And the big determining factor is going to be what the system does from this point. In an ideal world, it would alert a staff member at Twitch who could then check out the stream in question to make sure that it is in fact using licensed content without permission. From there, the Twitch staff member could issue a warning to the streamer, and if the streamer doesn't comply, then the stream is shut down from there. Maybe a strike system could be introduced similar to YouTube's to help prevent repeat offenders from abusing the fact that they won't get caught every time. This system has the least impact on viewers and legit above-board content creators, while still ensuring that people won't be playing music that they don't have rights to. Unfortunately, such a system would require more time from Twitch staff members and probably a whole new department dedicated to doing curation full-time, which of course will cost Twitch more money. So more than likely this system will simply switch off the stream and it will be up to the content creator to go about getting his ability to stream reinstated. After all, Twitch isn't paying content creators by the hour. Of course, none of this has happened yet, and this is all conjecture and guesswork on my part, so I will reserve judgment until the day this is in fact applied to the meat and potatoes of Twitch streaming. I'd like to close on the fact that I disagree with the opinion held by big 20th century entertainment companies, that by simply having someone listen to your content for free that amounts to a lost sale. There has been plenty of music I have picked up over the years that I never would have if not for various internet radio stations in the days before YouTube and Twitch streams, as well as plenty in the YouTube and Grooveshark era. Ultimately, there is so much music on the market today that there is a good chance a user who would otherwise like a specific song and or artist will never hear them because they were off listening to the stuff they already know is good. And no one is going to keep going back to a Twitch VOD just to hear one song that was played halfway through while the content creator talked over it while he was playing Minecraft. That user will then probably head to a site like Grooveshark or Spotify and listen to it there, granting the owning company a royalty for the listen. So long as the content creator properly identifies the song and artist in some way, then this is a system that benefits content creators, viewers, and big business. But 20th century entertainment refuses to acknowledge that the times have changed, and their business models need to change with them. And until they do, this is the kind of stuff both you and I as content consumers, content creators, and 21st century entertainment companies will have to deal with. I've been Zero, and these are my thoughts on the Twitch Content ID systems. Thank you for watching, and so long.